So how to buy tax lien certificates in the great state of Georgia. Wow, so much going on in Georgia besides peaches, okay? All sorts of stuff happening there. Georgia is a bonanza of gold, okay? I don't even know if that makes sense, but you can make so much money in Georgia. So please pay attention to this video. Send it to a friend, copy that, what do you call it, share, and paste that link. Like this, thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. This is one of the many great videos on different counties that we have out there in states on tax liens and tax deeds. And in this video, you're gonna know exactly how it works. And you don't have to be in Georgia to do this. I've had 9 properties right now in Georgia, and I haven't seen but one of them, I think. So you don't need to be there in person. I'm gonna show you how to do it from the comfort of your own home and make a ton of money doing this, okay? And also, stick around. At the very end, I got a little bonus for you Georgia babies out there. Anybody that loves this video, you're going to want to sit there and look at that little bonus. Okay, so let's get right down to it. First of all, Georgia is what I call, it's a lien state that acts, tastes, and smells like a deed. Let's just start with that. So before we get into this, again, this could be your first soiree. This could be your first video on anything tax lien or tax deed related. And I just said 2 things at once. It's a tax lien certificate that looks, tastes, and smells like a tax deed. What do I mean by that? In order to understand that, you've got to understand one thing that you hear me say all the time is tax liens and deeds are really the same thing. It's just a function of when the county lets you get involved. So a tax lien and a tax deed have a lifespan of approximately 5 years. What it means is this: a property has to be delinquent 1 year before it can go to sale as a tax lien certificate. If the county sells it within 1 year, typically, there are scenarios that that's not true. So this is a rule of thumb, okay, is that if a county sells a tax lien on a property 1 year after it's been delinquent, I can pretty much assure you that it's going to be a 2 to 3 year redemption period without looking at the website. You're not going to have to do this math on it. What I'm trying to point out is you need to understand the fundamentals. Why do I say that? Because you can't get a property into a tax deed situation until it's been delinquent 4 years, anywhere in the United States. So if they were really efficient and so that they've been delinquent, 366 days, we're going to sell it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 years, you can foreclose on the property. If I'm going to a tax deed sale, I promise you they've been delinquent 4 years minimum, unless it's Georgia. So Georgia goes, you know what, we're not going to do anything. What we're going to do is we're going to sell the property after 3 years of delinquent taxes. We're going to sell it as a tax lien, okay, but it really is a tax deed that you don't have any rights to the property for 1 year. What? Yeah. Let's say that it's a $250,000 property, and let's say the property taxes are $10,000. We're going to keep it really easy numbers. So that means they owe taxes for 3 years. Let's say I bid that up to $50,000. Let's say I bid it up to $30,000. It doesn't really matter. It's 50. We'll keep it simple. So I pay $50,000 for this property. That property owner has 1 year to come in and satisfy that lien of now not 10, but $50,000. Plus, in the state of Georgia, it is a 20% penalty. You heard that right. So if they redeem, they can't redeem at $10,000 anymore. They have to redeem at the bid price that I paid, $50,000 plus a 10% penalty or $5,000. So I'm going to make $5,000 on this. I don't care if they redeem the next day of the sale, 5 days after the sale, 6 months after the sale, or 364 days later. Now, on the 365th day, I can start the foreclosure, but if the property owner comes in during that foreclosure, which takes about 3 or 4 months, they got to pay me 30% penalty. So now they're going to have to pay me 30% on my $7,500. It's a win-win. The reason I say it's a lien state that smells, tastes like a deed, because if they didn't pay $10,000, what makes you think they're going to pay $50,000 plus a 20% penalty or possibly even 30% penalty? If it goes to sale, there's a high likelihood that you own the property. You're just going to have to wait 1 year for that property to get it, fix it up, sell it, and do all that stuff. Okay, now I've learned a lot about Georgia, okay? I mean, what's great is every state does the same things for me. I start digging into them and going, oh, that's interesting. One of the things that you've got in this scenario, some of you may figure this out, is there were $10,000 in back taxes. So how much does the property owner owe? 50. But in reality, if I get that property for 50 and I foreclose, that $40,000 over the amount. See, the county only needed $10,000. So anything over the $10,000 up to that 50 is what they call, write this down. It's called excess funds. Once I get done with this property and I foreclose on it, wrap your head around this, the former property owner can go to the county and apply for excess funds. That sounds great. So they get the $40,000. Why did they just refinance and pull the cash out and pay? Why didn't they just sell? I don't know. Before you get all hot and lathered up on this, the big problem is this person coming down the county? Listen, for 4 years, people have been trying to get a hold of them. Certified letters, notifications in the newspaper, all of these things that they have to do to prove to the courts that they have tried to get a hold of this person. Now all of a sudden they're going to file for excess funds? Not likely. But what I can do, in order to avoid the foreclosure process on this at the end of the 1 year, I can call up, and let's say the person's name is Joe. We're going to make it, hey, Joe. Maybe I call them up. Maybe I send a letter. Here's the tricky part. I got to get them to respond and say, hey, Joe, the government owes you a bunch of money. I know how to get it. Please call me. So I can sit there and say, listen, I'll show you how to get this excess funds as long as you sign the property in a quitclaim over to me. What benefit is that to me? Well, they get their money. Okay, we have to fill out the paperwork. There's a whole process there. I got other videos on that. But also, I avoid foreclosure. If they're signing the property over to me, I don't have to send out notifications. I don't have to go in front of the judge. It saves me money. It saves me time. I get clear title on this. Now I just got to eliminate. Now, the only thing you got to watch out for in this scenario is, are there any other liens and encumbrances on this property? You'd be surprised at how many properties we get that are free and clear. If there are no other liens and encumbrances on this property, guess what? That money goes right to that person. If there are, they will have first right to any of that excess funds, and then the excess goes to the property owner. So there's a lot of dynamic going on here. But here's the cool part about it. If I can get a hold of them before the end of the 1 year and ask them, listen, in order to redeem on this property, you're going to have to pay me $50,000 plus the penalty of 20%, which would be $55,000. Are you going to be able to do that? If they can't, you can go, okay, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll show you how to get this excess funds, and I'll pay you $5,000 to quitclaim the property over. Almost like a reverse cash for keys. So they get the money. Well, I'll go get my money on my own. Okay, let me know how that goes. Or I can show you how to do it, pay you some money, and you quitclaim it. Again, we've just avoided foreclosure, and we accelerate that redemption period. I'm not really accelerating the redemption period. I've just been satisfied by myself. I got clear title to the property. I show them how to get excess funds, and everybody's happy. Look, there's a lot going on in Georgia, and there are so many layers to this peach. You like that little segue? Anyways, that you need to know, and that's why I've put together a customized mini course specifically on this. If you want to make big money, I'm going to give it to you for free. It's mine, my gift to you. All you have to do is go down below, click the link that says higginsmethod.com, or just type in the link in your browser, higginsmethod.com. I'll send you that out to you. That's my gift to you. It'll show you everything you need to know how to accelerate this and make a ton of money in the state of Georgia and anywhere around the country. This is Saen Higgins saying God bless and good luck.